All right, guys, for today's video, we're going to be talking about kind of the background to writing equations to represent situations, okay? So this video is going to kind of introduce you to these equations, and then Ms. Parrish tomorrow, she's going to go into more detail about writing these equations, okay? But we're going to build the framework for it today, just kind of get you a couple vocabulary words, kind of get you a couple things like that, just to really understand what an equation is, okay? What an equation is. If you will, please get out a clean sheet of paper. We're going to take our notes on a sheet of paper today. There is a little bit of writing, but it's very, very important today and tomorrow that you take good notes, okay? That you take good notes. So this is writing equations to represent situations, all right? So the first thing we're going to talk about is, well, we'll go to standard first. How do we write equations to determine whether a number is a solution of an equation? That second part is what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about the difference between an equation and an expression. Okay, now we've talked about expressions before, but not really equations. So an equation is a mathematical statement that two expressions are equal. You do need to copy that definition down. A mathematical statement that two expressions are equal. Now, if you will, once you have copied that down, underline equal for me, because that's what's important about an equation. Okay, and it even kind of sounds like if you say equation, equal. Both expressions are equal, okay? So we'll talk about that more in a second, but a solution, now we're not talking science here. I kind of wish we were, because that would mean we were maybe doing chemical reactions and blowing stuff up. But a solution is a value of the variable that makes the equation true. So a solution is the answer that makes the equation true, okay? The answer that makes the equation true. So go ahead and copy both those down, and we'll talk about them more in just a second. Pause the video if you've not copied, but continue. Okay? So I've got expressions and I've got equations. Okay? In each of these, look for just a second and tell me what you see that's different. There's something that's different in every single one of these, and that's the main difference between an expression and an equation. In this first expression, what do you not see that you do see in the equation? Well, obviously you've got another number, but this is the important thing. An equal sign, okay? An equal sign. If we talk about words, a number plus 4. Equation, a number plus 4 is 9. So once again, we've got something equaling or something is. We've got an answer, okay? We've got an answer. And then algebraically, that's a fun word, n plus 4 and n plus 4 equals 9. Once again, we have an equal sign, okay? Expressions have or do not have equal signs. Equations have equal signs, okay? That's the main difference right here. Now, just like I said, an expression represents a single value. Please write that down just in case, okay? And underline expression. An expression represents a single value. I would also like for you to write that example, okay? An equation represents a relationship between two values, okay? Write that example. Once again, it shows you how those two are different, okay? It shows you how those two are different. Lastly, an equation relates two expressions using symbols. Oh, so look at that. With an equation, we actually have two expressions, okay? And when you write down the example on that, we've got an expression on the left, and sometimes we have an expression on the right, okay? So an equation relates two expressions using symbols for is or equals. So once again, the main point being, in equations, you have equal signs. All right, pause the video, write that down if you have not, but we'll move on, okay? Here's the last thing I want you to write as far as notes. An equation is like a balanced scale. The weight on both sides of the scale must be exactly the same for it to be balanced, okay? With that balanced scale, it's exactly the same for an equation. Both sides of an equation must have the same value, okay? So think about the picture you see on the bottom of the page here. Just like, I forget what that's called, but the justice beam, that balance has to equal. If in this hand I've got more, it's going to be weighted. In this hand, if I got more, it's going to be weighted. So with an equation, that balance has to equal out perfectly. Okay? And that's what an equation is. So always, always, always envision this little thing down here, okay? And just envision this equal sign. This has to equal this at all times, okay? Now, just like in this picture, you may have one number on the right side. You may have 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 numbers on the left side. Shoot, you may have, or eventually you will have 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers on the right. Okay? It's just how it is. Okay? I feel like I said okay there 500 times, but it's all right. So let's take dice and look at it this way. I've got to make this equation true. Okay? I've got to figure out a way to make this equation too. So if I was making this equation too, I've got 4, the number 4, plus the number 2. So if we go back to elementary school math and I add 4 plus 2, I'm going to get 6. Okay? I'm going to get 6. And with that, I know 4 plus 2 is 6. And then there's 6 on that dot, so that equals 6. So this equation is true. Okay, this equation is true. Now, let's look at it from an algebra perspective. So on this one, I know on the left, I've got 4 plus a number. And then on the right, I've got 6. Okay, so like all the other algebra terms, we're going to write an x right here. Okay, 4 plus x equals 2. And you've actually worked this out before, and this is what algebra is. Now, next week, we're going to figure out how to solve these. Okay, but you can guess it. I've got to find something that goes right there that goes with a 4 to equal 6. So 4 plus 2 equals 6. Okay? That's algebra, that's equations. Now, let's get into the numbers. Whoops, I forgot I gotta put that in there. It's funny when a good plan works out though. Let's actually look at this, okay? So today, here's what I want you to envision as we do this lesson. I want you to envision you're the teacher, okay? Johnny says x plus 9 equals 15. So you're going to test Johnny. You're going to say, yes, Johnny's right, or no, Johnny's wrong, okay? So we're going to take x plus 9 equals 15. I'll get you to write this down, but watch me do these first and then write it, okay? So x plus 9 equals 15. I'm going to take whatever x equals, and I'm going to plug it in where that x is. So I've got 6 plus 9 equals 15. Well, here, I'm going to use PEMDAS. Okay, the only thing I've got is addition and subtraction. So 6 plus 9. 6 plus 9 equals 15. All right? And you'll see that 15 equals 15. Okay? Now, if these numbers are the same, Johnny's right. So you give Johnny a check mark. Okay? So yes, this is a solution. Okay? Yes, this is a solution. Now let's look at the one next to it. Y divided by 4 equals 32. Well, it says y is 8. So 8 divided by 4 equals 32. All right? PEMDAS, this is the first operation I have. 8 divided by 4. 8 divided by 4 is going to be 2 equals 32. Now, Johnny says this. Is this correct? No, Johnny, you're not correct. You're wrong. So, no, this is not a solution to the equation. Okay? So go ahead and write those steps down. Not very hard. You're just plugging in the numbers and you're seeing if the student was right. You're seeing if this is a solution for the equation. All right, here we go. Let's look at a multiplication one. So I've got 8x equals 72. I'm going to plug in 9 for x, okay? I'm going to use parentheses because it just keeps myself organized, okay? 8 times 9. Well, 8 times 9 is going to equal 72. All right, so 72 equals 72. All right, so we say Johnny's right. Yes, this is a solution. So over here, I have 72 minus x equals 8 equals 64. Okay, 72 minus 8 is going to be 64. So 64 equals 64. So yes, Johnny's right. This is a solution. Okay? Now, here's the part that you're going to love, because I know you love doing this and you just have to do it every time. This whole thing should be written on your paper. You've got to provide evidence that Johnny's right, because I can say yes or no, okay? I can just say, yeah, you're right, Johnny. No, you're wrong, Johnny. I have to provide evidence, okay? And this is my evidence to saying you're right, you're wrong, so on and so forth, okay? So you have to provide that evidence. Go ahead and pause the video, copy that down, and then I'll let you do 4 on your own, okay? So now, pause the video, see if these numbers are solutions, okay? See if these numbers are solutions. Back, pause the video and do that. Hey, thanks. Okay. So what I have is 11 equals n plus 6. All right, so my numbers on the left here, that does not matter whatsoever. It's like a balance beam. It doesn't matter if your whole number's over here or your 2 numbers are over here. Either way is fine, okay? I'm still just gonna plug in n equals 5 for n. So I've got 11 equals 5 plus 6, all right? And when I pin dots that, 5 plus 6 is going to equal 11. So 11 equals 11. Attaboy, Johnny, you're right. So yes, that is a solution. Okay? So let's look at the next one. Y minus 6 equals 24. All right? So I take x equals, or sorry, y equals 18. So 18 minus 6 equals 24. 18 minus 6 is going to be 12. So 12 equals 24. Sorry, Johnny, you're wrong. So no, this is not a solution, okay? And I've got to have proof. Here's my proof to back it up. You got to show your work. All right? Let's try the next one here. X divided by 9 equals 4, all right? And x is going to be 36. So I've got 36 divided by 9 equals 4, all right? So when I take 36 and I divide it by 9, I get 4. So 4 equals 4. Great job, Johnny. That is a solution. Why am I using Johnny? I really don't know. It's the first thing that comes to my head. And here's my evidence that backs it up. Last one, 15t equals 100. Now that's not a plus, that's a t, okay? 15t equals 100. Now, remember the rule, touchy multiply. So I'm gonna plug in 6, so 15 times 6 equals 100. Now, if you're not a mathematician like I'm not, I'm going to go over here to the side and multiply that out to make sure I'm right. 6 times 5 is going to be 30. Move the 3 over. 6 times 1 is 6. 7, 8, 9. So I get, I don't know why that's there, sorry. I get 90. Okay? I get 90. So 90 is equal to 100. Nope. Wrong. So that is not a solution. And here's my evidence to back it up. Okay? Well, I started to ask any questions, but I don't think you can talk to me now, so I apologize for that. But I'm going to go ahead and let you start on your practice, okay? If you do have questions, ask your teacher. Obviously, guys, if you need to go back and rewatch this video, that's completely fine. This is, once again, the beginning of algebra. We're getting into equations. Oh boy, oh joy, okay? Let me go over to my other computer for just a second, and let me kind of show you what the homework does look like. Okay. Yep. There it is. Why did I put pancakes on this? I don't know. It's 7:24 on a Thursday night or Wednesday night, and I'm really hungry, so that's why I put pancakes. Sorry. I don't think it'll count your name wrong here. I'm not 100% certain, but there's your name. So you're going to have determine whether x equals 14 is a solution for the following equation. So you're going to take x, whatever it is, and you're going to plug it in where the x is. Okay? So 14 minus 9. Well, 14 minus 9 is definitely not 23. So your answer for the first one is going to be no. Okay? It's going to be no. Now, I'm telling you right now, this is my rule, and I guarantee you this is Miss Parrish and Miss Klein's rule. You can go down through here and check yes or no probably in your head, but it doesn't work that way. You cannot do algebra in your head. You've got to show your work, okay? So make sure you attach your work to this, all right? So that's all I've got for today. Just make sure this is done. I think there's 13 questions and that's it, so it's not too bad. The last one is like a 4-point question, like a true or false question, okay? So y'all enjoy and hope you have a great rest of the day.